Great stuff. So those just arriving, please pop your location in the chat and tell us where you're from. We'd love for you to tell us that. It's going to be a bit of talking in this one, in our day one, because there is a bit of scene setting and some of you don't really know us, or if you know us, you don't necessarily know our work. So this is an opportunity for us to be able to just bring you all up to speed really with where we are. So there's a few stories and things like that as well that we share. There are some tools that we introduce you to. And this is just an opportunity for us to really come together as a collective. Doing some work that is in reflection, just in reflection in your own sort of thoughts. There'll be a bit of sharing, but there won't really be an opportunity to speak too much into the space. That might be quite nice for some of you to hear. That might be a bit of a relief. I know some people were really worried about what you had to say. Look, this is a space that is a private space, of course, just to those of us who are here, people who have chosen to be here and people who have been invited here. So this is a safe space and we will be managing and moderating as we go to make sure that it stays a safe place. But there is an opportunity for you to certainly use the chat function. But this first session is a lot really about just your own reflections. And that's why this workbook is going to serve you well, so that you take some notes around where it is that you find yourself when we ask you some particular questions. So a bit of framing and some work for yourselves to do. Thank you for joining the Messenger in the Facebook group. That is really great. Just makes things a bit easier, I think, around communications. So hopefully everybody has been able to get what you need from those groups. If you haven't introduced yourself in those groups, perhaps you could do that after the session, or certainly before tomorrow, because it's really great for everyone to know a little bit of background around everyone. So again, please pop yourself on mute unless you've been invited to share, which could happen later on in the week. As people grow more comfortable with being in this space, we might give the opportunity for a couple of people to speak in the space if that's what you would like to do. It's always just an invitation. So please take care of yourself, because, you know, Zoom isn't everybody's happy place. Is everybody quite familiar with Zoom? Yeah, it's just become a way of our world, hasn't it? Which is quite a blessing for a lot of us in the way that we can now work from anywhere and be a bit more location free, which is, I think, an ideal for lots of people. So yeah, just take care of yourself. If you do need to leave the space for a moment, please do that, of course. Please just be self-managing. Make sure you've got some water or gin or wine or whatever it is that takes your fancy at 7 o'clock at night. Have some nibbles there if that makes it easier for you as well. You are very welcome to do whatever it is that you need to do to keep yourself comfortable and feeling good in this space. So please, we ask you to be respectful of each other. We know that that is probably going to be the case as we traverse some new ground as this new collective. So most importantly, we hope that you will enjoy getting to know each other a little, but really getting to know yourself. This is a deep dive for yourself to do whatever is meaningful for you. And there's no right answers, there's no wrong answers, because each of us are unique. And of course, there's 8 billion different ways of doing the world. So you all have a different way and different perspective around how you choose to live your life. But this is a really great opportunity for us to really sort of start thinking about, what do we need some clarity on? What do we need some courage around? And what is it that we think that we need to do that will help us to grow in our confidence? Because sometimes when we want to make change, we need all of those things. So thank you for the poll. Thank you for answering the poll in the Facebook group. That was really cool to see. And it looked like pretty much everyone was saying, yep, I need clarity, I need courage, and I need confidence. So we hope that we will serve you well over our time together. So please set the view to suit yourself. Of course, we're all in gallery view now. You might choose to put speaker view on when there is a slide up. We do have some slides. It won't be death by PowerPoint, but there are a few slides which will help just guide us on our journey. But most of what we have really is in your workbook, the conversations that we'll be having around that. So what else is there? Anything else that I've forgotten there?
No, pretty well covered, I think.
Pretty well covered, pretty well covered. Is everybody good? Everybody good to go? Fantastic to see you, Elizabeth and Jill. Jill and I go way back. Jill and I have known each other for 40 something years. So that's pretty significant. So Jill's coming in from the UK. Again, those people coming in, please pop your location in the chat. It's wonderful to see where everyone's from. And Linda Mary, awesome. Katie Blackett, fantastic to see you. So people are still arriving. Awesome. So while you are still arriving, we will just dive in and do a bit of a share and do a bit of I guess to give you a bit of an understanding of where we come from and where this work has originated from. So I'll to Mike to be able to share a bit about the origin story for this work and a bit about us in the process.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Look, I'm not going to go through my entire life. Someone as old as me will be here all night and you will be asleep. So we'll just jump to, in the early 2000s, I've been doing quite a lot of project work, taking people through change. And what I really loved about doing my project work is seeing the people grow and transform as we go through the change process. I've been doing some business coaching and had this idea that wouldn't it be great to have a tool whereby people like-minded goals and aspirations, what they wanted to achieve in life, could come together and really collaborate to help each other, because I'm really, you know, a big believer that together, you know, we can help each other get what we want out of life, and you know, community. And so I was looking at a tool in the early days of making groups. This is in the early 2000s, I think it was. I thought, you know, it was social media was coming on stream slowly, I think, and I thought, oh, you know, social media with a purpose. I thought that would be fantastic, and I went to you know, a web and software development company, spent a whole lot of money. They couldn't get it to work. I went away, and I guess the story is around clarity, courage, and confidence in its own right, because I was clear on what I wanted. I had the courage to go and spend a shitload of money to try and get this thing up and running. I didn't quite have the confidence, and anyway, I went from one company, and then I think Lisa was coming on the scene around that time, and went to another company. They still couldn't get it to work, and bloody hell, not long after that, Facebook got it to work. But anyway, so, you know, I still believed in that, but I didn't have the confidence to go out and help the people that I really wanted to help directly. You know, I wanted to have this tool in front of me, type of thing, and I needed to come out. But anyway, it was in the early 2000s, the mid 2000s, and then Lisa came on the scene, and the concept of Echo morphed into you know, what we're doing today. And so it was a real you know, it went up and down. But it was always in my heart and in my gut that I wanted to do this thing, and we took a lot of knocks. So there was, it was clear to me, and it still is clear to me what we want to do. And I'm, you know, I've got the courage now to move forward more positively. You know, I'm gaining the confidence to deliver better and better to more and more. And I've got a really, really deep commitment to this. So yeah, so now Lisa and I are charging on together, aren't we, darling?
We are, and it's been yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. You know, it's been a hell of a ride. So Echo You, which is this personal growth and self-development business, sort of came about in 2012, and at that time I had a really difficult time in my life and had an encounter with depression. And I actually say my story is that not being true to myself nearly killed me. And it sounds really dramatic, but it's really true. I absolutely fell off my perch because I had left my marriage in 2009 with 2 little girls, with a 1 and a 4-year-old. And over the period of those next few years, as I got myself back on track, was trying to work in change management. We were working in projects in huge organizations. It was really stressful and it was really toxic. The environments were really toxic. I moved house, was renovating a house and just trying to make my way. I went over to Australia. I did a contract. Life felt very, very stressful and chaotic. And in the midst of it, I had these 2 gorgeous little girls. But really for me, what happened for me was I went to the very, very edge and I was ready to take my life. And that is something that I now look back on with absolute horror. And I look back in horror, and that's not in judgment of anyone else, because I'm the daughter of a man who took his own life. So I knew what it was to leave children behind. I knew what it meant to the people that you left behind. And really that became the beginning of this very intentional journey to create some tools that would help me actually to put my life back together. So Mike and I at that time then had just come together. We just started living together. So the poor guy walks into this absolute chaos and mess that I had tried to keep from everyone. And it was just one friend of mine at the time that said to me, Lisa, you are not well. You are not well. And I didn't want to admit that I wasn't well, but I knew that I wasn't. I'd been taking the kids off to school and daycare and coming home and getting under the covers and then getting up again before I had to go and get them. And then Mike came home thinking that everything was okay. And I was working at home quite quietly. And so then Mike knew that something was terribly wrong. And so said, hey, look, why don't you stay working from home, and why don't we try and really do something with this business? Do you think that you've got it in you to be able to make something of this? And we'll work on it together, but I'll go out and I'll earn the bickies and you stay at home and see what you can do. And so that's what we did. And at that time, then a year later, it was sort of part of my healing journey was the creation, which was the co-creation of our book, which was How to Be Yourself, which is the system that underpins the work that we're now doing today. We're doing a very brief version of some of the things around that work. There's some new things here that we don't bring into our programs, but this really was the foundation of our work. And they were tools then that we knew could help other people. So the following year, I set up my own coaching business. Some of you who know me from back then may remember it was called To the Power of You. And so I was coaching from a little home office at home, using our system and using our tools. And it was so cool because we could see how this system was working for other people. So I just wish that we had our tools before I fell off the perch. I wish that I hadn't waited until everything collided and life became really, really difficult. But I came out of that. I came through that healing. Everyone got through. I had massive support. So that was one of the really important things for me as well at that time. My life was support. We go through hard times, and there's nothing better than having great community around you, whether that's your loved ones and family and friends, or communities that you find in other ways where you find connection. But I do know that it's a really important place to be, and trust, to be able to build trust in yourself again, to step out and make decisions, because when everything goes to hell in a handbasket, you actually don't even know how to make decisions anymore. I just couldn't trust myself. So it was a long, long journey. And I still know now, I know the signs. If I get a bit overwhelmed, I know the signs, and the last thing I want to do is go back down that slippery slope. So that's where the work came from. But there's lots of awesome stuff that's come from that. And it was a bit of a journey. And back in those times, we just went to the 10th birthday. For those of you that live in Kirikiriroa, Hamilton, here where we live, we just went to the 10-year celebration of Company X, which is a software company, which has had an amazing story, unbelievable exponential growth, got a huge contract with Cisco. But we went to their celebration party last Thursday night. What was significant about that was we were one of their very first 5 customers, I think, when they were building our original Echo U website, which cost $1 million. And when I say that, like, well, if we had $1 million, then maybe things would be different even now. But no, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money back then. But it was really significant because it reminded us as well that this journey for us started in earnest more than 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago. And those of you that are in business here as well will know there are ups and downs. There are ups and downs. What's always really interesting, isn't it, that suddenly something happens, someone appears somewhere and it's a raging success and you go, oh my God, it's an overnight success, it's fantastic. And of course, there are all those years and tears behind the scenes. And I see George laughing there because George is a business coach and he knows it from his own business and he knows the work. So hi, coach. So George is actually my coach as well, which is really super cool. So yeah, look, it's a journey. We're all on this journey called life, and it has multiple dimensions. And one of the things that we want to encourage you to do over the next few days is to look at the different dimensions of your life, because there's an intersectionality between all of those things. And there are places and spaces where things cross over. And there are places and spaces that you might feel you really want to throw some light and cast some light. So among other things, there'll be an opportunity for you to do that, because what I do know from my journey is that it is about balance. And I think many of us talk about the challenge of finding that balance in life. And it's super important, especially for those of you that may have found yourself really close to the edge. It is not a nice place to be. And I don't wish it on anyone. So it's fabulous that you're spending this time just to check in on some of the things that people told us around why you're here, which is just really awesome. We really appreciate you filling in the forms, you putting in your introductions, but we've got people who are looking for tools to look after themselves as a business leader because they're leading a team and want to be the best self. Time to look after me. That was something that a few people said, time to look after me, breaking free, just doing me. Ensuring that your magic never stops. And that's one of the things that we know as well, is that there is magic in each and every one of us. And we believe our purpose in life really is to find that magic and do something meaningful with it so that you feel really fulfilled in life and you get to share your gifts with humanity. That is something that we really think is fabulous. But it can be a challenge to find your magic. Does not appear inside your comfort zone. We need to get outside our comfort zone. Don't need to tell you all that, I'm sure, but we need to get out of our comfort zone if we are to find our magic. People said that it was about finding a missing piece that's holding me back, a strong calling to step out on my own and let the fullness of who I am come out and bring my magic to the world. I'm looking to know who I am other than just labels. And that's a really interesting thing, because we go to parties, don't we, and things, and we say, hi, or what do you do? What do you do? As if what someone does should define them as a human. It should never. And one of the reasons, of course, it should never define us is we won't always have those things. We won't always be that change manager. We won't always be that business owner. So what then? When those things are no longer roles that we play, because that's what they are, then what then for us? And that's our work, is to find the who among all of the roles that we play in life. And we play many, many roles, don't we? Bring my magic to the world, looking to know who I am, need some new direction, focus on things again, get unstuck, lose the unease, and clarity, courage, and confidence was something that we heard as well, which is from one of our dear friends, Karen, who has journeyed with us on a program. So thank you for being here, Karen, and being a supporter in this space. And tools to get out of our comfort zone, learning, curiosity is what's led some of you here as well, and just interest in what this is all about. So how are you feeling at this moment? Give us a word or two in the chat. Let us know how you're feeling right now. That would be really good, just to see where we are at. Fab to be here. Awesome. Good to have a little check-in. Open to what's coming. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, staying open is really important. It is really important. Good and curious to learn. Brilliant. So just a sharing really, that you will see in your books on the first page, I think it is for you, is the pathway. What is the pathway to changing your game? Excited, thanks C. What's the pathway to changing your game? So here is the pathway according to Echo U. And that pathway is that we have, as some of you know, a private group. That is the time to put it on speaker view, unless it's not too small for you. And then we're in a challenge. This is where we are now. We're in a challenge. And there's an opportunity as well for us, if you will give us permission later on in this week, if for those of you that are interested in what might be next after something like this challenge, or you're just interested, do we have your permission that we might be able to just share a bit about the other work that it is that Echo U does? Cool. So our 90-day game changer is a group program that we run, and we've just run one program over the last few weeks that finished in April, and there was one late last year as well. And then we also have one-to-one opportunities as well. So really that Echo U pathway to change your game is that private group that some of you are already members of. Now there's something exciting that's going to happen with that group very soon. So if you're already a member of Just Do You, it's going to be really super cool for you. If you aren't a member yet, please just hop onto our Facebook group, or Facebook page rather, my personal Facebook page actually, or Mike's. You can click on and go through to our group, and we would love to invite you there. It's called Just Do You. So it'd be great to see you there. So what about what else is happening? Let's just have a share of some slides, if that's all good with everyone. And that'll give us a bit of a steer as to what is going to happen in our time together. Can everybody see that screen okay? All good for everyone? Fabulous, thank you. I will just get us through here. So we picked this quote because we heard from lots of you, you know, talking about your magic, talking about stepping out and allowing the world to see your unique talents is something that we really want to encourage you to think about while you're doing this work, because you will be so glad that you did, because that is the release button really to you having freedom and choice in your life to be the best version of yourself. And we know that that's one of the reasons that many of you are here. So just a little reminder that allow the world to see every unique talent you have, and you will be so glad that you did. So this is the work that started this journey. This is the How to Be Yourself book that back then we tried to launch as an online program actually after the book first appeared, and it was really difficult to launch. People weren't really that engaged in online learning, so it was a wee bit of a challenge for us. But it did mean that we created a really great little toolkit of resources that we've been able to build on that have now formed the foundation of the program work that we're doing. So it's really wonderful, and I'm sure you will recognize in your life that there might be a coming together of lots of things that you have done over time, and now you find yourself in the place where you are making use of those skills and talents that you've picked up on the way. Does that sound familiar to everyone? Awesome, awesome. So this is Change Your Game. Welcome to day one of the Change Your Game challenge. Let's shift from feeling unclear to finding some clarity. If there's any fear that sits with some of us, or false evidence appearing real, let's see if we can shift that to gaining some courage. And if you're feeling a bit unsure, let's see what we can do about gaining some more confidence as we do this work together. So this is the framework of Echo U's signature system. So it really is all about clarity, courage, and confidence. We know that if we can shift our mindset and really take a deep dive with some discovery in what's important to us, and then take some action, we will make some changes in our life, because mindset, with a shift of mindset and understanding what it is that we want for our self-defined good life, will give us some clarity. The understanding that we have then around what it is that we want will enable us to step forward to take some action. And that will help us to have some confidence, because, you know, often you need to step out and take the actions, and the confidence kind of comes afterwards. But once you've done it once, you know you can do it again. And again, mindset and actions together are what give us courage. So mindset, discovery, and action. And this, why waste time living a life you haven't chosen for yourself? I went through life being a people pleaser, doing things that I thought was what I wanted to do, but actually it turned out that it wasn't what I wanted to do for myself. And I think there are many people that feel like that as well. So if that is you, this journey will be very helpful for you. So here we are. In a moment, we're going to invite you to start thinking about where you are in life and why. And then day 2, tomorrow, is about visualizing your good life. You will not want to miss that. Day 3, know your authentic life formula. Day 4, assess your life in 7 life dimensions. And day 5, taking some actions to change your game. Now, we know that doesn't really mean an awful lot to you at this moment in time, but let us just guide you through this journey. And we ask that you trust the process. You might not have yet built trust in us, but we do ask that you trust the process. So thanks so much for letting us just share some of those things with you. So Mike, over to you.
Cool. So we're going to kick off now with a short exercise. If you go to your book,
Page 4.
On page 4 in the book, if you can just spend a few moments just reflecting and thinking, you know, what do you want from this course? What are you looking to achieve? You know, what do you want to get out of it? You know, where are you heading? Where do you want to head? And also, what's stopping you? What have you tried? What stopped you from getting there already? So if you can just, should we play some music?
Let's do that.
Yeah, so just go through that and we'll pick back in a sec.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't
Okay. How's everyone doing?
Awesome.
Good. That's great.
Awesome.
Right. We've got another little exercise coming up, and just to frame it for you, I just want to take you through something to just help you, reinforce what you've just been thinking about, what you want, and also, is it time now? Because this is something that I think about quite a lot. If you have a look, I'm hoping everyone will be able to see this. If you look at the chart here, and we've got a dimension of time going out, and this one, for want of a better term, we just call it sort of life energy. So here we are, we were born, and we kick into gear, and we get a lot of energy, and we travel through life. And if we're lucky, we have a really good life, and at some point we die. Doesn't always work like that, and quite often it doesn't. It's not the case. You go down here and you spend, well, a lot of your life towards the end not in a great shape. But what if, one, you can increase your energy, and two, what if you can push this out? Currently, we're roughly about, on average, 75 when we hit this mark, on average. But there's increasing science to say that we can push that out, and there's no reason why we can't come along, have a great longer life, and end it quickly. So it's not about the length of life, it's about the quality of life. And increasingly more and more we're seeing that, hey, this is possible. So I don't know where any of you are along here, but you will know. And increasingly, it comes into your head that we've got less and less time, even though none of us knows exactly how much time we've got. But if we have something really meaningful, our North Star that's sitting inside of us, and we know what that is, it's nagging inside of us, it's that thing that won't go away. It could have been there a month, a year. My thing for Echo was there for 10, 12 years. And because, it's inside of you, you can never escape it. It's going to be with you. So you don't have time. You don't have time to not do what you know you need to do to live the life, be the person, expand and show your magic and share your magic and gifts with the world. You've got to do it now. I've seen it, so often, and you can't bullshit yourself. You know inside yourself what you want, what you need to do, and if you're not doing it now, when are you going to do it? So now we go into the, if you can go to your workbook and just have a look at page 5, is it time to course correct? And take a few minutes to just go through there and think about, are you ready?
What page?
Maybe it's 1/6, maybe.
Try 6, Jane, if it's not, sorry, we may have one that we just printed before a slight change.
Oh.
It looks like this. So everybody got that? And there's 2 pieces to it. Awesome.
Things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. Oh, light. Yeah. Oh, light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Beautiful India Ari. Is anybody familiar with her? No, before, yeah, she's gorgeous, isn't she? How did you go with that? You don't need to share anything too personal or in detail, but if there's any reflections that you want to share in the chat, please do, even how you found the process, or yeah, and just how you're going at the moment. Be really just good to see how you're going. Is everybody good? Good. That's important to us. That is important to us. Cool. I'll just give you a moment to come up out of that space. I can see some of you still writing, which is great. And of course, it doesn't mean that this work kind of stops here really for you. We would love to encourage you in between the work that we are guiding you through, you know, to keep thinking about this work, because we're only together for a short time. So what we hope to do is to share some learning, share some tools, And these are tools then that you can put into your kit, into your toolkit, and pull out at different times. So they're not one-timers, they're kind of perpetual tools. So let's just have a think. So yeah, we are all here because of the consequences of choices that we made, aren't we? Choices that we made yesterday, last week, last year. We sit in the consequence of choices we make. And it doesn't mean to say, of course, that sometimes things don't happen. Things do happen, and they do happen to us. We always know that we can choose how we respond, but that is not to say it's always easy for us to do that. And we had some conversations about that. I belong to a group that Linley facilitates and hosts, and we had conversations about that just last week, actually. So we have to be really mindful of others when we say, hey, you know, it all depends on how it is that you respond to stuff, because it isn't always easy for people, and it may be a moment in time. Yes, we can respond, and it is up to us to make a response in whichever way is meaningful, but sometimes it's harder to do that. It's harder to do that depending on what it is. And change is one of those things. If change happens to you, which is often our experiences in a work environment. I mean, how many people have experienced being at work and a change happens in that space and it may have been managed very badly? And often it's not the change itself that's the issue, it's how it's managed. And that's the same often for ourselves. We can usually get our head around anything with some time and with some real, focus around how we're going to get through. But we can get through. We always get through. And, even when we choose things proactively, that can be really challenging for us as well as humans. Even when we make a choice, like coming over here 21 years ago from the UK was a choice I wanted to make. Didn't mean I didn't cry my eyes out all the way on the plane from there to here, and didn't take me 3 years to settle in, all of those things. But we make choices, and sometimes they work out well for us and sometimes they don't. And so this is about what can we do to be able to understand what change might mean to us. Because when I say the word change, you'll all be having very different thoughts around what that means for you. If you feel like you want to pop that in the chat, what's the word that comes up for you when you hear the word change? While you're thinking about that, Heather was a fantastic participant in our program last year, actually, and she said she had to make a change in her life. She knew it, and then the program came and it was kind of the perfect time for her. She said that going through the process of thinking about why we want to make changes and how we're going to do that is really essential, or we probably won't make them, and I think that's true for lots of us. So she was grateful to sort of have that thinking and that feeling time. So how did you get here today? We were all born with characteristics, beliefs, particular values. Stuff happens. We make choices, we go through challenges, we go through some pain, and we go through some delights as well. Life can be really wonderful. Life is really whack-a-mole, isn't it? But how is it that we emerge at the other end? So where are you when you look at that image now and you think about this is where you're standing right now? What is that place for you? So knowing that you're all here because you want to affect some change or thinking about what change might look like in your life, just like to invite you to take a few moments. So we might just be in silence here for a second, thinking about if you stay the same, whatever the motivation is for you coming into this space, if you stay the same, what has it cost you so far to stay the same? And what might it cost you? And what might it cost you? And you should see that page too that follows on from the Is It Time exercise. And there's some space for you to make those notes. But we'll just hold some quiet space for you to just think into that for a moment.
the square, wasn't it? Mhm. There's a red thing, I think. No, there's a little red thing.
Well, it's muted there.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, should be muted it on your
No, it's all. I should just leave it on the bottom. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. How are you going? And hey, our mates. Shirley and Greg, how are you? Good to see you. Great to see you. Oh, great to see you guys. How did you go? How did you go with that? Any reflections? Do put those in the chat. And we can see there that we had some feedback earlier, thinking about what change means, which is really great. We've had a few things here. Change equals excitement. Change equals resistance. Yeah, being scared. We can be scared of so many things, can't we? And lots of our past experiences sort of help us to form how we feel about something, whether it's positive or negative. Expansion. Yeah, change can mean that. Wow, the time went fast, said George. Yeah, it really did. It really did. Yeah, we need to turn our magic all the way up. We do need to turn our magic all the way up. Let's just have a look. We just see some others coming in. Change equals growth. Yeah, time, money, joy, confidence. Awesome. Change is exciting. Yeah, it can be exciting. Can be exciting. Really fabulous. Really fabulous. Yeah, it's a really interesting thing, isn't it? And, you know, because of the way life can go, that sometimes we might feel really comfortable about change one day. Something might happen overnight. And boy, if you give me something new that I wasn't expecting the day after, something that's happened to me, I might not feel about change like I did yesterday. I mean, that's how subtle it can be. But change is the only constant, isn't it? And we know that nothing changes if nothing changes. Yeah, loss of joy, lots of loss, absolutely. And loss is grief. And what we know about grief is that grief is a cycle. It is different for every one of us, as is everything, but grief is a cycle. And yeah, loss creates that. Like we said, even when you're moving, like you, Denise, too, yeah, I can feel you that you've moved. I know you've got family there too, but you've also left things behind, and we can't underestimate some of what those feelings can do for us. Yeah, can do for us. So Karen Chained, it was feeling very confident and ready. Oh, that's really cool. So are you ready for change? Are you feeling like you're ready for change? Are you feeling like you're getting a handle on this thing? Awesome. And there's our Maxton. And just a disclaimer here, so Tara's our niece and Maxton's our great nephew right there. So thank you so much. And Tara also does a wonderful job with our digital support. So she's a digital creator. So yeah, get hold of Tara if you need digital creation. So over to you, Mike, just to say a couple of things before I do the final wrap up.
Yeah, hey, thanks for spending the time and investing in yourself, and just realizing that the cost of not changing just gets greater and greater the more you resist it. And you know what's right inside of you. Thanks for going deep today, and you're going to love tomorrow, because we start looking at moving forward, taking you forward, seeing what's possible. Yeah, so I'm quite excited about all that.
Yeah, me too. What's possible and how can we make that happen?
Yep.
So just a few things before we do a final closeout. And please put your key takeaways in the chat. And what we mean by that is not just in this chat here, but actually in the group would probably be better, because this chat will close in a moment. And it means that you've got nothing else that you need to do right here and now, which is quite nice, I'm sure. You have worked really hard. I'm sure you are feeling, perhaps like you have gone a little bit deep. It is 8 p.m. here in New Zealand, and you're all in different time frames there. George, you've still got some day left over there in the Philippines. Fantastic for you. And in Aussie, our Aussie friends, you're a couple of hours behind us as well. So you've got some evening to have as well. But yeah, in our Facebook group, please put in a full day ahead, of course, for our Jill, who's over in the UK. You have a full day ahead, my friend. So yeah, do put something in our Facebook group, just the highlights for you. It might be one thing, and maybe actually, George, maybe you might be able to sort of role model a key takeaway, a KTA, just to make it easy for ourselves around something, because it really helps. Your reflections are all going to be different. Some of you may have similar ones, the same, but you'll have different ones, and that really helps people to be able to look down and remember some of the things that may have stood out to them around the thoughts that they have had, or what things that they have heard that we may have said. So on that, do book a 45-minute call with me if you would like to think about having a 45-minute opportunity to create a 30-day plan at the end of this challenge. So if you would like to do that, just give me a messenger and let me know, and we'll be doing a reminder as well each day. So if you're really serious about making change, let us help you. Let me jump on a call with you and make a plan depending on where you end up at the end of this process, because you will have some actions that you want to take, and we can help you to take that step further. So huge thank you to you, to each and every one of you, for giving this work its time, and for giving yourself an appointment with yourself. As my friend Karen says, an appointment with yourself is really important. Sometimes that's actually just all it takes. We could be doing whatever back here. You're making the appointment with yourself to have a focused time just to do what's important to you and have that thinking time. So we hope you've enjoyed the personal development opportunity in our first day together. We look forward to seeing you back here, same place tomorrow, same time. That's 7 p.m. Auckland, New Zealand Standard Time. So we really are looking forward to that. Thank you for your thank yous, and just leave you with this. So, you know, are you really ready to get out of your own way, to step into your self-defined good life? Because no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save me either. No one's coming to save us. And so it's your time. You just have to believe that. You have to believe it's true. You have to believe it's possible. And you have to believe that you can change your game. So big thanks, everyone. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, and see you over in the Facebook group with your key takeaways. So good morning, good night, good afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ka kite anō, with our New Zealand sign off. Kia ora, everyone. Thank you so much. Fab to see you. Thank you. Hey, Shirley. Hey, my friend. How are you? Stay on for a moment, will you? Thanks, Linda Mary. Fabulous to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Nick. See ya. Great stuff. Great stuff. Awesome. Hey, our friend. You're on mute. How are you? There's no one else here. These are all our devices. Mike, and this one. These are all our backup devices. I can unmute you maybe.
There
There you
you
are.
go. Yep. Hello, how are you both?
Good, so
Good.
good to see you.
Nice to see you too. I'm sorry I'm late. I thought I could do it on my phone because I was coming home from work and it wouldn't work. And then I had to wait for Greg to come home because I couldn't get it to load on the computer, but he finally got it to load. So it's all good now. So hopefully good for tomorrow.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. And look, just if you've got the opportunity, have you got the workbook? Did you manage to get that from inside the group?
I don't know. No.
It's inside the Facebook group, but I'll email it to you as well.
Okay, all
I'll
right.
email it to you.
Thank
But it's
you.
inside, it looks like that. It's inside the Facebook group and the messenger chat. It's a PDF.
Okay.
So in the Facebook group, because you're part of the challenge group on
yep.
Facebook. Yeah.
Yep.
It's in files, or you can go to the featured posts at the top.
Okay.
Type it in
Okay.
there.
I
But
must have missed it. Sorry.
I'll pack it to you. That's all right. That's all right. And maybe you could just go, look, I'll send you an email and tell you which page to go to. And maybe you can just do some reflection work if you get the chance before
Yeah.
tomorrow. But
Yeah.
because
Okay.
this is just the kind of beginning, really. And
Did I miss out on much? Like, is there something, is there somehow I can catch up, or if I go through the book, will I catch up?
oh, you're kind of, because it was self-reflection, really. So the first things were just preparing yourself. What do you want from this course, you know, and what's stopping you from having that? So, you know,
Yeah.
if it's confidence, what's stopping me from having confidence right now? You know, it's that kind of reflection. And then there's a little exercise which speaks for itself. Is it time? You get a little rating of yourself on that tool. And then if you stay the same and don't make any changes, what will that cost you? What has it cost you, and what will it cost you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So that is simply it. So really there was, don't go to the Which Life Zone, that's tomorrow's work.
Okay. Yeah.
But just do that up to what will it cost me? And so, I mean, you'll have missed the, you know, the threading bits in between, but really we're just, I guess, just helping people understand that there's no time better than now to make change,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and step into our best lives. You know that, my friend, you're a person that
Yeah.
lives life big, but I know you've had some real challenges.
That, yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, because it doesn't necessarily involve, well, it is my choices, but when I've got, like, I think William's still using ice and he's taking his son to ice houses, but he won't admit that he's got a problem to anybody, and I'm the only one that sees him for what it is. And if I push him, I lose his confidence, so therefore I lose my connection with them, you know, and I'm in contact with the mum because he's basically stolen the baby from his mother. So it's horrendous, Lisa. It's just so hard. So I've got to, actually said to my oldest son last night, because he still won't have anything to do with him, and I said, but you have to, because it's not about William. I've got William sort of, somehow I've been able to cut him out, but he doesn't know that. But it's keeping the connection with the baby so that I know the baby's safe. And children's services here won't do anything because it's so bad over here that they're just, there's mums prostituting themselves for drugs and there's babies walking on the street and they can't even get them into foster care, and won't take them off him. So I've got no chance of getting, and I want him to be different, but he's got to make that decision for himself,
Stop recording. Hang on a seckie.